Let's take our Bibles, let's turn them to John chapter 1. Now we'll be reading beginning with verse 38 through verse 51. Then Jesus turned and seeing them following, said to them, "What do you seek?" They said to him, "Rabbi," which is to say, when translated, teacher, "where are you staying?" And he said to them, "Come and see." They came and saw where he was staying and remained with him that day. Now it was about the 10th hour. One of the two who heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first found his own brother Simon and said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which is translated the Christ. He brought him to Jesus. Now when Jesus looked at him, he said, "You are Simon the son of Jonah. You shall be called Cephas," which is translated a stone. The following day, Jesus wanted to go to Galilee, and he found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote about, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." And Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite, in whom," the King James says, "in whom there is no guile." The translation I'm reading says, "in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael said to him, "How do you know me?" Jesus answered and said to him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." Nathanael answered and said to him, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered and said to him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? You will see greater things than these." You will see greater things than these. And he said to him, "Most assuredly, I say to you, hereafter you shall see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man." So let me first say that our journey, that's what we're on. We're on a journey. Our journey begins with an invitation from Jesus himself. In verse 43 that we just read, we witnessed the simple yet profound words of Jesus where Jesus said, "Follow me." I don't know about you, but I love the invitations of Jesus. I love his invitations. In Matthew 11:28, Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." In John 7:37, Jesus stood and cried, saying, "If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink." John 21, Jesus said unto them, "Come and dine." Remember that? The old timers can remember that old song. "Come and dine, the master calleth, come and dine." Remember that old song? Come and dine. Mark 10:21, Jesus said, "Come and take up your cross." That's the one we don't like to hear. Come and take up your cross. These are invitations of Christ. Matthew 25:34 says, "Come, you blessed of my Father, and inherit the kingdom." Oh, we like that one too. Inherit the kingdom. Now, it's hard to grasp the profound nature of the words "follow me" and what they would have meant in Jesus' time. Can you imagine, think about it in 2024, can you imagine a stranger saying to you later today, and even more, saying to you, the stranger saying, "Follow me," and even more, can you imagine yourself following that stranger? But these words that Jesus, this invitation that Jesus is giving, is more than a creepy back alley invitation. One commentator said this was a rabbinical call to a permanent disciple. It was a rabbi, so rabbinical, a rabbi call to those who would become permanent disciples. And the Jews of that day, they already had set guidelines which defined that kind of relationship. So when Jesus is saying, follow me, they understand exactly what Jesus is saying to them. And I believe that whenever Jesus gives us the invitation today, follow me, we know exactly what Jesus is saying. We know exactly what Jesus is requiring from us whenever he gives us the invitation, follow me. So Philip, responding to Jesus' call, seeks out Nathanael and declares to Nathanael, we have found the one Moses wrote about in the law and about whom the prophets also wrote about, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Philip rightly understood who Jesus was and what potentially he was calling people to. So Philip was excited. Philip was overjoyed and eager to share his discovery of Jesus, the Messiah, with Nathanael. Nathanael, however, was not that excited. Nathanael was very skeptical. Well, of course he was, I know there's many of you, when I said, what about if a stranger come to you today and said, follow me, and could you imagine yourself following that stranger? You go, oh, I don't think so. So of course he was skeptical. And he asked, I love that statement, can anything good come out of Nazareth? And to that derogatory statement, that's really what that is, can anything good come out of Nazareth? To that derogatory statement, we get 3 words from Philip. Come and see. Say it with me. Come. Listen to me. The invitation today is for you, each of us. Come and see. Come and see for ourselves. Philip invited Nathanael to see for himself with his own eyes if this traveler wasn't in fact the long-awaited Messiah, the one that the Jewish people had been waiting for centuries to appear. Let me pause here and say, just as Philip shared his encounter with Jesus, you and I, as God's children, as Christians, we are called as well to share our experiences with those around us. And when we respond to Jesus' invitation and follow him, we become witnesses to his transformative power. And we know that Jesus still has the power to transform lives. You've been trying to change that son, that daughter, that husband, that wife all these years. You don't have the power to change them. You do not. You do not have the power to change them. But listen to me. Christ does. The Lord does. He has transformative power. He has the power to change individuals, listen to me now, into what he desires them to be, not what you want them to be. Yeah. Our lives become living testimonies like Philip's, drawing others to come and see the miraculous work of Jesus. And also let me say that it's okay. Say it's okay. It's okay. Say it again. It's okay if people respond like Nathanael responded to Philip. It's okay. It's okay if they respond with skepticism, just like Nathanael did. Well, we just simply, here it is right here, here's our job. We just simply trust that Jesus is more than capable, and he is, more than capable of handling people's objections. Oh, I know it hurts our feelings. Hello? Oh, I know it gets under our skin. Oh, I know that it really rubs us the wrong way, doesn't it? Oh, listen to me. Jesus is more than capable of handling people's objections, but our job is to extend the invitation. And I'll pause here and say, extend it lovingly. According to our text, Nathanael does in fact go to see for himself this man called Jesus. Friend, listen to me. I'm going to pause right here and just say it right here. You got to do it yourself. Nathanael goes. He got the invitation. Nathanael goes to see Jesus for himself. You got to do it yourself. You've got to do it. Can't nobody do it for you. Can anybody else do it for you? You've got to have your own personal encounter with this man called Jesus. And I'm going to pause right here and ask you, do you have a personal relationship with Jesus like you ought to? The very beginning right here of 2024, let your pastor just encourage you. If you don't have the right relationship with Jesus, listen, friend, this time is short. You need to get things right now. Come on, you really do. You need to have an up-to-date, right now relationship with Jesus Christ. I can't do it for you. Your mama can't do it for you. Your husband can't do it for you. Your wife can't do it for you. Your children can't do it for you. Your mama can't do it for you. Look, nobody can do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. Hello, look at your neighbor and tell him, you got to do it for yourself. Jesus responds as Nathanael approaches with a statement that transcends mere physical sight. Jesus says, I saw you, Nathanael. I saw you. Here it is right here. Jesus sees you, friend, right where you are. He does. Wherever you are in your relationships, in life, Jesus sees you and says, scares some of you to death, doesn't it? Well, it ought to. Listen, it is a scary deal. Jesus knows us inside out. He knows me, and I go, oh, help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. He knows me with all my frailties and all my faults and all my junk. Oh, man, and Lordy, thank God she ain't nodding real hard. He knows me. But he still loves me. He saw Philip sitting under the fig tree. I love it. I love it. He's all-powerful God, all-seeing God. He knows and he sees. He says to Nathanael, Nathanael, I saw you, son, while you were under the fig tree, before Philip came to you and told me. Nathanael, shocked and astounded by this revelation, acknowledges Jesus then as the Son of God and King of Israel. Nathanael's eyes were opened. Why? Because he took the risk. Because he took the step of faith. And he went to see for himself. Why were his eyes open? Because, friend, he took the risk. It's going to be worth it, friend, if you'll take the risk. It'll be worth it if you'll take that step of faith. If you go see this man called Jesus yourself, you see, my friend, following Jesus opens our eyes to the miraculous. It goes beyond the natural realm, allowing us to perceive the divine in our everyday lives. When we commit to Him, we surrender to Him, our spiritual eyes are opened and we begin to see the hand of God at work in unexpected ways. And I'm so glad that Jesus works in unexpected ways. If He did everything the way I expected all the time, I would become a spoiled kid. Come on. You know, dealing with your own children. We're all that way. It's our nature. Ma'am, you know, sometimes you can't do it the way that they're expecting it all the time. Hello? Sometimes you got to change things around a little bit. I'm so glad that our God is a God of variety, and He loves us, and He works in unexpected ways. Friend, our faith in Jesus enables us to witness miracles, whether they be big or whether they're small. Can I tell you, there are miracles happening all the time. Where are they, Pastor? Well, friend, get the kind of relationship we need with Jesus. You need with Jesus. Jesus will open your eyes, and you'll see the miracles. You'll see the miracles. Big, small, and that will point to His divine nature. This is part of how He reveals Himself to us and to an unbelieving and weary world. Oh, I know the world is unbelieving. I understand that, but it's also weary. Don't you understand? They're weary. But we must open our hearts and our eyes and acknowledge the miraculous things happening around us all the time. Then Jesus concludes this passage with a promise. You will see greater things than these. Oh, I'm believing that in 2024. You will see greater things than these. He then refers to the connection between heaven and earth, the opening of the heavens and the angels ascending and descending upon the Son of God. That must have all sounded wild to those early disciples that they were trying to wrap their minds around the words of Jesus. But this entire exchange in this text where Jesus says, but you will see greater things than these, reminds me something of what the Apostle Paul said in Ephesians chapter 3, where he said, now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. We miss that last phrase way too often. According to the power that works in us. According to the power that works in us. He wants his miraculous power that dwelled on the inside of you to be working not only in you, but through you. You've heard me say this, those of you that have been here almost 15 years as your pastor, you've heard me say it many, many times, and I still say it today. It ain't all about what I want. It ain't all about what you want. It's what he wants to do in us and through us. He's making us, he's molding us, and he placed this church here in the early 1900s, Bethel Assembly of God, not just to be another church on another corner, not just a group of people getting together. That's just a social club. He wants a church, a viable, real, meaningful church, a group of people that allow the power of God to work in them and through them to others. Say to others with me, to others. It ain't about me, it's about others. It's about others. It's about others. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. But preacher, I'm not experiencing that. Well, friend, listen to me. Only thing I can say to you is that, friend, get right. Hello? And I say that with love. Get in right relationship with the Lord. You know, yes, the Lord and I have been married 46 years, and we've been in ministry full time for 44 of those, close to 45. And let me tell you, friend, this Christian, I'll say this as a pastor, this Christian walk, it ain't easy. It's difficult. You got to work at it. You got to stay in right relationship with the Lord. Even preachers have to work on that. Hello? We all have to work on our relationship with the Lord and keep our relationship up to date and in a right standing. In right standing. So that the power of God that dwells on the inside of us not only works and helps us, but there's enough power in us, and there is, because God, the Holy Spirit, dwells on the inside of us. There's enough power there if we will release it. Say release it with me. Release it, and it's not a it, it's a he. God, the Holy Spirit. We release him to do in us and through us to help others that are in need. We will see, according to Paul and according to what Jesus said, greater things than these shall you see. And Paul says he will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you will ever ask or think, according to the power that works on the inside of you. We will see greater things because of God's power working within us and through us. We will experience more, say more with me, more, 24, more in 24. More in 24. We will experience more than we can think or imagine because of God, his power, and his miraculous nature dwelling in and working through us. Please understand that as we follow Jesus, we are promised not only to see the miraculous, but to experience even greater things. Our journey with him is a continuous unfolding of divine wonders, and through prayer and through worship and through a surrendered life, we tap into the heavenly realm, witnessing the supernatural intervention of God in our circumstances, in our situations, and in the world around us. But first, we must answer his invitation to follow him, to come and see, and to step out in faith. And I've already stated, I'll state it again, it's a risk that is worth taking. The invitation to come and see. It's an invitation to encounter, to witness the miraculous, to partake of even greater things. It's not just an invitation to look at The greater things. Oh, we're good at that. We're good at that. When did the church, I'm looking at each of us here today. When did the church just become bystanders? When? When did we just become those on the sidelines watching the game? When? I remember when we used to engage in the game. Hello? I remember when we used to get in there and get our hands dirty, get our knees a little scraped up, get a little banged up. When did we become just bystanders? People who just watched from the sideline. Oh, God, help us. God, forgive us. Friend, we've got to get in the game. It's not just an invitation to look at and then just turn around and go our way. It is the journey of a lifetime. It's about following Jesus, sharing Jesus, and glorifying Jesus with our lives. As I close today, I want to draw your attention to the repetitive mention of sight, seeing, and understanding in our passage from John. So I want to point them out to you. Philip saw Jesus for who he really was. Nathanael couldn't see how anything could come from an individual from Nazareth. Philip invited Nathanael to see for himself. Jesus saw Nathanael sitting under a fig tree. Nathanael's eyes were open to see who Jesus really was. Jesus tells his disciples they will see greater things. Notice the word see or saw. They will see prophecy come to life before their very eyes. So let me say this. Maybe you've been having a hard time seeing Jesus in your life because you've been looking at the wrong things. I said, maybe you've been having a hard time seeing Jesus in your life. The reason for that is because perhaps you've been looking at the wrong things and you've been looking in the wrong places. The Hebrew writer puts it this way. It says, looking unto Jesus. Did you hear me? Looking unto Jesus. Get your eyes off your career. Get your eyes off of all this. Oh, let me back up. Careers are wonderful. You need a career. You need to be a hard worker. But can I tell you, the Bible even talks about if you're not a hard worker, that that lots to say about that. You need to be a hard worker. Thank God for your career. But your career is not your God. And really, the career is not what really sustains you. God's the one who sustains you. God's the one who's blessed you with good health to be able to do your career. God's the one who, I believe this with all my heart, who blessed you and led you to your career. I believe that. Get your eyes off of everything else. Looking unto Jesus. Say that with me. Looking unto Jesus. Say it again, please. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. He's the one. Maybe, just maybe, he's been with you all along. Maybe, just maybe, he's been right next to you walking through the valley with every step that you've taken. Because he said, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. The psalmist writes, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because thou art with me. The rod and thy staff, they keep me. Maybe he's been cheering you on, protecting you from the lies of the enemy and cultivating a path right in front of you. How What do you mean, preacher? Well, just keep in mind Jeremiah 29:11, where it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So just maybe. Maybe, friend, you've been looking at the wrong things, wrong places. He's been there all along, leading you, directing you. Done things in your life you're not even aware of because your eyes were looking everywhere else, to everyone and everything else. But he says, I am leading you. I am guiding you. You got to focus your attention on the author and the finisher of your faith. You got to look to Jesus. Maybe, just maybe, you and I, we need to answer the call again to follow Jesus and come and see. So in the very beginning of 2024, I invite you to come and see. Jesus invites you to follow him because we need a refreshing. I have to realign myself, not just the beginning of a year. I have to do it several times in the year. I have to realign myself to what he wants. Follow Jesus. Come and see. Knowing that as we respond to Jesus' call, our lives become canvases. A canvas on which God begins to paint his wonderful wonders. My prayer for all of us in 2024 is that we embrace this journey anew with faith. Knowing that following Jesus means that we will truly see amazing things unfold in our lives and in this world for his glory. I've already stated it at least twice. I'm going to end it with this. The risk is well worth the eternal reward.